All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. First off, yeah, we're doing a car video, and I don't know what's going on with the sunrise behind me. Hopefully it is not too terrible to look at, but yeah, hopefully you guys can forgive any audio or visual lacking here on the part. We don't have the normal mic, the normal camera, but we're getting the video out there. So hit the like button for the weird lighting behind me. Hit the subscribe button as well. We got some NBA action here November 14th. 7 games to jump into today. Not gonna lie, it's not my favorite slate, but we will go through each and every game. I'll give you what I'm thinking. We'll talk about the game, give you my lean. But as always, keep an eye on the pinned comment on this video. That is where all my final plays will be. What I'm actually going to be rolling with will be in the pinned comment. So make sure to check that out, guys. Last video, we didn't have a Sunday video. We took Sunday off, but last video we ended up going 2-1. We played the both sider of the Nets and the Clippers. That cashes. We missed the Hornets plus 10.5. I told you guys in the video I was a psycho for taking that bet. Ends up being a psycho move because we lose. And then we got our ride of the day from Joe Yurkovich. Shout out to Joe here. Miles Turner over 23.5 points and rebounds. I think I can only get it at 24.5, and he still crushed it. So shout out to Joe there. That was an absolute cash. If you don't know what the ride of the day is, all you guys got to do is use hashtag ride of the day in the comments, and I'll be looking for that hashtag in the comments and jumping on board with one play in the comments today, and you guys will get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Also want to say before we get into the video, guys, this is presented by MyBookie. If you do want to check out MyBookie, use the link in the description and promo code GBS. It's an amazing sportsbook. Their lines differ from a lot of sportsbooks, especially the ones that you guys are probably on right now. And I always encourage everyone to have multiple sportsbooks to be able to use those difference in lines and odds to your advantage. They have one of the largest selections of things that you can bet on. So make sure to check out MyBookie, guys. Use that link in the description. Use promo code GBS for a % match on your first deposit. Why wouldn't you go over there and make a free play tonight? You're watching this video, you're gonna make a play anyways. Why wouldn't you do it for free over on MyBookie by getting some money back there, some free cash? But let's jump into these games, guys. We have the Hornets taking on the Magic here. Hornets, like I said, we lost that last play against them. Magic 1.5 point favorites at home. Total is 222. The Hornets coming off that bad loss. In fact, the Hornets have lost 8 in a row. They haven't covered for 8 of their last 10 games, which is crazy as well. And this Magic team playing really good basketball, surprisingly good basketball. Cole Anthony still out, Mo Wagner out, and Paolo Banchero is questionable here for Charlotte. Gordon Hayward and Dennis Smith Jr. look like they're both going to miss the game, but I'm going to lean Charlotte in this one. They are underdogs. I think this Magic team is riding high, 6-5-2 against the spread this season, which is crazy. But yeah, maybe if I had the soundboard, I would drop the psycho alert, because I don't know why I keep betting Charlotte, but I do think this is a decent spot for them. Now, whether it becomes a final play or not, keep an eye on the pinned comment. I don't want to make any promises here because I don't love this spot for them, but I do think that this Magic team may be riding a little high, getting a little comfortable with themselves, and all of a sudden they have a team like Charlotte who can compete with a lot of people, comes in and beats them. So I lean Charlotte in this one, but it is a pretty slight lean. Next game, we have Toronto playing Detroit here. Detroit, 5-point dogs at home. Toronto 7-7 on the season, 8-6 against the spread. Detroit 3-11 straight up. 4-8-2 against the spread. We have a total of 220 in this one. I don't love either side of this. I think any side I would go ahead and lean Toronto, but I'm not obsessed with that pick. What I do like more than anything in this game is leaning the over 220. Now, I'm not going to say that, all of a sudden we're looking at Detroit and they can score a bunch of points. And also, I want to note that Toronto is going to be without Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. But what I will say is that these two teams both can let up 115 points like that and score 115 points like that. So I lean 220. It's a low number. I think if these are two teams that, you look at the Detroit Pistons, they stink, right? And then you look at the Raptors, like, oh, they don't have VanVleet. What are they going to do? But they're still two middle-of-the-road sort of offense and defenses without those guys that they can go up and put up some points. Cade Cunningham also out for Detroit. So I know it's probably a minority pick here when both teams are missing some of their star players. I think that can lead to an over. Not fewer amount of buckets scored, but yet more buckets scored, because there's things more flying, almost like organized chaos out there. So I'm going to lean the over in this one. I lean Toronto, but very slight lean. All right, Celtics, my Boston Celtics, 11-point favorites over the Rumbling. covering. Thunder 229.5 is the total. Celtics this season 10-3 straight up, 7-6 against the spread. And the Rebel and covering Thunder 6-7 overall, 8-5 against the spread. Getting that win yesterday against New York. If I'm not mistaken, that game went to overtime. Boston, 6 wins in a row here. OKC finally getting back on that covering train. 2 covers in a row against 2 decent teams, Toronto and New York. Now, I don't bet against the Celtics just because I'm a Celtics fan. You guys can roast me in the comments all you want, but I'm very transparent about that. But if anything, I would lean away from the Celtics in this one. I think 11 points is a lot to give. Can they cover that? Easily. Easily. They can cover that easily, which is why I'm probably not touching this game. But if I had a gun in my head, I think that 11 points is a little bit too much. And then 229.5 is a high number. These Celtics games have been going over pretty well here. It's tough. 2 out of the last 3 games gone over for the Celtics. OKC, 2 straight games. Actually, 3 straight games have gone over, so OKC. So I guess I lean over, but 229.5 is a high number, so I'm probably sticking away from that. Guys, I told you guys, this isn't my favorite slate. I hate to give you sort of like, oh, I don't want to touch that, but you got to pick your spots wisely. We're positive on the year, and slates like this, when you want to force something, is how you end up not being profitable as a sports bettor. So hopefully you guys respect that. All right, we got the Heat taking on the Suns, 2 hot teams. Get it? Heat, Suns, Heat 6-7 straight up this season. Miami 8-4, or Heat 6-7 this season. Phoenix 8-4. The Heat are having a terrible against the spread season 3-10. Phoenix is 7-5. Miami 1.5 point favorites here at home, though, as it looks like the Suns could be without Chris Paul. Miami, no Victor Oladipo, and Tyler Hero is questionable, so keep an eye on the injury report for that game. But this one, I'm gonna go with Phoenix. I think that they're coming off of that bad loss. They're gonna be well rested. That bad loss against Orlando. Miami's coming off of 2 straight wins to Charlotte. One of them, I believe, went to overtime. I think that they're going to be feeling themselves being like, all right, we're back on track. We're having a terrible year, but let's go do this. And Phoenix is going to say, hey, hello, we're still a good team. Yes, we dropped a game to Orlando. Yes, we've lost 2 out of our last 3 games, but we're still a good team. Now we're used to the Florida time zone and all that good stuff, guys. We've been here for 3 days. Let's go out there and pump Miami. This is one of my more favorite plays, I guess. One of my more I always say more favorite. I have no idea what that means. But this is one of my more liked games on the slate here. Total is 216.5. This Miami team has been scoring a decent amount of points, and Phoenix, we know, can score, but they do have a good defense, so I kind of peek at the over. But guys, I've said over so many times in this video. You guys know I like unders more than I do overs. If you do watch every video, you know that. I might be getting tricked by some of these low number overs. So, but anyways, my final lean here would be the Suns, plus the 1.5. Bucks taking on the Hawks. I feel like these 2 teams have played a million times this season here, but I think they've only played twice, which is still a lot, I guess, early in the year. Last time these 2 teams played, Atlanta beat Milwaukee 117-98, and before that, Milwaukee took it to them 123-115. Milwaukee's 4-point favorite in this one against Atlanta here. Atlanta 4-2 in their last 6 against the spread. Milwaukee 9-3 against spread in their last 12 here, but the total's gone under in 6 of the last 7 games for Milwaukee. And this is a decent number to look at, 224. I think that this game could finish around 118 to, I don't know, maybe I don't know. Hell, I was going to say 118 to 100. I think Milwaukee takes it to Atlanta here. So I'm going to lean Milwaukee and the under. I like the Milwaukee lean more than I do the under, but I'm going to lean Milwaukee in this one, -4. Guys, if you're still watching at this point in the video, go ahead and drop, let's go ahead and drop the word lighting in the comments, guys. If you're still watching, you guys know I've been giving you guys comment of the day or whatever we want to call it, but this is some wacky lighting behind me. Sun's rising behind me, so I don't know if it looks cool or absolutely terrible. It's reflecting off the mirror that I got right here. So yeah, guys, drop the word lighting in the comments. It's the biggest word I've had to spell. Ready? L-I-G-H-T-I-N-G. Boom! We are getting better at spelling as we're going through these picks, guys. It's educational in many, many ways. Drop that word in the comments if you guys are watching still. We got the Rockets taking on the Clippers. Total is 220. Immediately I go, okay, I'm looking at the under in this game because the last time these 2 teams played, the last few times these 2 teams played, the games were November 2nd was 101-109. Then when they played on Halloween, 93-95. Then before that, 100-113. These 2 teams, then 99-99. 98. These two teams hate scoring against each other. We know the Clippers are one of the slower teams in the league. No John Wall for LA tonight. And then Jalen Green and Jae'Sean Tate, both questionable for Houston here. I'm going to lean the under in this game. In terms of a side, sure, I lean the Clippers, but I don't love betting the Clippers at all. 5-8 against the spread this season. I just don't think the Rockets care about basketball that much right now. So I'm going to lean the under here, but I guess if I had a gun to my head, which I've said a couple times in the video, hopefully I'm not jinxing myself here, I'm going to lean Clippers minus 5.5, but I like the under more than anything. Warriors taking on Spurs in the last game of today's video. Warriors 8-point favorites, 232.5 is the total. San Antonio playing really well in the last 12 games, 8-4 against the spread. Golden State, on the other hand, not playing well in the last 12 games, 3-9 against the spread. They're 4-9 against the spread on the season. The San Antonio team just beat Milwaukee a few nights back. Now, it was a beaten and bruised Milwaukee, so I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but they covered against Denver, covered against Memphis, and then covered against Milwaukee. Golden State, on the other hand, has just been looking really, really, really wacky. It's like they cover, they don't cover. They cover, they don't cover. They cover, they don't cover. So I do think that this is a decent amount of points. I hate to do it, but I'm going to lean San Antonio in this one, +8. I'm staying away from the total, though, 232.5, guys. That's all I have for the picks today. Keep an eye on that pinned comment for the final plays, what I'm actually going to be rolling with tonight. And guys, yeah, we got the models and the models and predictors and projections on the channel as well. If you guys are ballers, $2.99 a month. Click that join button right next to the subscribe button. You guys can get access to those. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.